Hello students. Through this video lecture I am going to demonstrate the usage of Banker's algorithm in determining whether the state of a system is safe or unsafe, and given a new request whether it is safe to allocate resources as per the request. So we will be applying the Banker's algorithm for a given situation. So the given example is this one. We have been given the allocation matrix, the maximum resources matrix, and the available resources matrix. So the meaning of allocation matrix is that for the given set of processes, currently some resources are already allocated, and that is what is listed under the allocation matrix. So for example, as for that, P0 is already allocated 2 instances of resource A, and no resources of B and C are allocated, and 1 instance of D is allocated to P0. So in the same way, P1, P2, P3, P4 processes have also received some allocations so far, but it is not complete allocation. They still have some further requirement. Now the max matrix indicates the maximum demand of resources for each process. So P0 actually needs 4 instances of P1, resource 1, while it has already received 2 instances, which means that it still needs 2 more instances of resource 1. Similarly, it requires actually 2 instances of resource B, but it has received none. So this is how we can interpret the max matrix. It indicates the actual demand or the maximum demand of each process, and available is the current number of resources in hand. So after making these allocations, how many resources are available with the operating system? So those resources can be further utilized for new requests. So that is available, and given this set of data, we are supposed to solve these 3 problems. Number 1, we have to prove that the current state of the system is safe, and number 2, if a new request suddenly comes from process 1 asking for 1100, that means 1 resource of R1, 1 resource of R2, and 0 resources of the resource 3 and 4. So in that case, is it safe to allocate those resources as demanded by P1? So we have to use the Banker's algorithm to decide that. And third question is that if a new request comes from P4 for 0020, whether it is safe. It's going to be very similar to the second problem, except that here we have got a different process. Let us first take the let us calculate another matrix that is needed for our purpose, which is need matrix. So need matrix is nothing but the difference between max and allocation. So max is the total request, allocation is current allocation. If you subtract the current allocation from the actual demand, you will know the pending demand. So need is nothing but the pending requirements of all the processes. So P0 needs 2211. Similarly, P1 needs 2131. So in that way, we have calculated the remaining requirements of all the processes, and available is already given. Now we can calculate one more data out of this, which is total resources. So the number of resources actually available with the computer. Available is just the numbers that are currently free. Remaining are already allocated. But if you add the available with the allocation, what you get is the total resources. So it's nothing but, if you just calculate the allocation of resource A, 2 plus 3 5, 5 plus 2 7, 7 plus 1 8, 8 plus 1 9. If you add 9 with 3, you get 12, which is nothing but the total resources available under resource A. So we have got all the necessary information. Now we have to proceed to the various questions. First question is whether the system is currently in safe state. So how do you decide whether the system is safe or unsafe? The Banker's algorithm comes into picture for this particular solution. So according to Banker's algorithm, we have to keep completing processes with the available resources, and every time you complete a process, you can claim all the resources held by that particular process, and your available resources get increased. So with the increased resources, you should find the next process. This is the steps you have to follow. Let us start the process. So now the available resources are already known. We have to allocate the resources to the process that can be completed and claim or reclaim all its resources. So can we complete the first process? It is possible because its need is 2 to 1 1, and we have sufficient number of resources available. So what we do is that we allocate all the resources to P1 or P0 in the first step. That leads to the need becomes 0 and the allocation gets filled. So we have all the resources totally required by the P0 has been allocated. Remember that this is just an evaluation. We are not actually allocating the resources to any process. We are just doing it in the algorithm. So under the algorithm, we just manipulate the data structure. That is, we just manipulate the arrays, not making the actual allocations. So that is what happens. So we just assume that we have allocated all the resources to P0. Then what will happen? Once a process receives all the resources, then it can complete the execution at some point of time. So when it completes the execution, naturally all the resources will be released by that particular process. Then that will be added into the available resources. So the available resource is now increased to 53222, and we assume that the P0 has been completed. Now we have to find another process that can be completed based on the available resources. So we can consider the need of the second process. And one more improvisation we can do is that instead of doing this in 2 steps, that is, we first allocate all the resources and then reclaim the resources. That is not necessary. Once we identify that a particular process can be completed, we can immediately add the resources of that process into available, assuming that it will anyway be coming back to the set of available resources. So we can just do it in a single step. So hereafter we are going to follow that only. Now after completing the first process, we are targeting the second process. The second process can also be completed since the available resources are more than the need of the process. So we just do it in a single step. If these resources are allocated to the process, we are going to get all the resources of this process. So we immediately add these resources with the available. So 5 plus 3 becomes 8, 3 plus 1 becomes 4, 2 plus 2 becomes 4, and 1 plus 2 becomes 3, and everything becomes 0 for the P1 process. So this leads to this particular data. So we have got back all the allocated resources from P1. So we are just going to continue the same process. Can we complete the next process in this way? Yes, it is possible. So we just take back all the allocated resources from the next process, that is P2. So 8 plus 2, 4 plus 1, 4 plus 0, and 3 plus 1. We are going to have these many resources available. So definitely we can complete the next 2 processes. So we are going to just complete that, collect all the resources, and then the last process is also completed. So what we understood from this evaluation is that since we are able to complete all the processes in this order of P0, P1, P2, P3 and P4, the system is currently in safe state. So there is no issue of there is no possibility of any deadlock as of now, since there is a sequence by which we can complete all the processes. And also this may not be the only sequence that you may complete processes. That doesn't matter. There should be at least one sequence. There may be more than one sequence, and we don't need to list out all the possible sequences. And also the sequence arrived by one person may not be same with another person. As long as each sequence is correct, the answer is also correct. So the conclusion is that the system is in safe state. Now we are going to move on to the second question. Is it safe to allocate the resources to P1 as per the given request 1100? The first question that needs to be considered is it a valid request? So what do you mean by a valid request is that we have already calculated the pending requirement of each process. So a process can only make requests within this limit. So if a process makes more requests for more number of resources exceeding this set of numbers, that shows that it is making excess request. Initially every process has submitted its maximum requirement. That's what we refer as max. And accordingly we have made some allocation and we have calculated these are going to be the remaining requirements. So no process is allowed to exceed the need matrix. So in that case it is invalid. In the given case it is not invalid because 1100 is within the need row of this particular process. So it is valid. Next is whether the resources are currently available. It seems the resources are available. So if the resources are not available, then we don't even need to go to the Banker's algorithm. We can straight away decline the request saying that currently resources are not available. So now that it is a valid request and resources are also available, we can now proceed to the next issue. Is it safe to allocate the requested resources to P1? We just have to follow the same steps we already followed. Make the allocations for P1. So this is an additional step. In the first case, we were just asked to check whether the given state of the system is safe or not. So we immediately started the process with the help of the current information. But now we have to evaluate whether the system will be safe after this allocation. So we have to make this allocation and make the necessary changes in the data. After that we have to call the Banker's algorithm. So that is what is being done here. We make the allocation for P1, which leads to this set of values. So now the need of P1 has been decremented and the allocation of P1 has incremented and the available is also decremented. You can compare that the need has been decremented, the allocation has increased and the available resources are reduced. And from this data we have to now proceed to the Banker's algorithm. So find a sequence to complete all the processes one after the other. Now let's take as per the given order itself, can we complete P0? So the need of the P0 is 2211 and we do have the necessary resources to complete P0. So we just do that. We allocate all the resources and we reclaim the allocated resources from P0 which increases the available set of resources, and now we have to check the possibility of completing the next process, and that process is also can be completed. So we just allocate resources and get back the. In this way we keep complete each process, and finally we can definitely complete the last process. So and one more thing one more idea that you can use is that if you have evaluated it correctly, then finally when all the process has become 0, the available should become equal to the total resources that you calculated in the beginning. Only then you can be assured that the answer is correct. If there is any difference between the total resources and the available that you calculated at the end of completing all the processes, you made a mistake at some step. So now in my case the total resources are exactly equal to the available resources, which means that we have got the answer correctly, and also the conclusion or the verdict is that yes, it is safe to make the allocations and the actual allocation is confirmed. Remember that these steps doesn't mean that we are actually completing or the operating system actually allocating the resources and completing. It is only doing a analysis within its database. It's not actually doing any physical allocation. It's just using the data to evaluate the banker's algorithm, assuming that the resources are allocated and the processes are completed. But finally what really happens is only this allocation. So the request of P1 is accepted and the resources are allocated to P1. Since allocation of the resources is not going to lead to any unsafe situation. This is how we can use the banker's algorithm to verify whether the current state of the system is safe, number one, and whether a given request can be accepted based on the result of the banker's algorithm, whether it's going to lead to safe state or unsafe state. Hope you understood the sample problem. So you will be given a similar problem and you just have to follow the same logic. And one more problem that is also included under this problem, a request of P4, and I just want you to apply the same logic that I just explained to you for the request of P4 also, and decide whether it is safe to allocate resources or not. And one more point to remember is that request has to be considered as a subsequent request after this allocation. So you should not take the original data given in the problem. Instead you should consider the current data after the request of P1 has been completed. So from this you need to evaluate whether the new request of P4 can also be accepted. Thank you.